Loveliest of trees, the cherry now is hung with bloom along the bough, and stands about the woodland ride, wearing white for Eastertide. Now of my 80 years and 10, 20 will not come again, and take from 70 springs a score, it only leaves me 50 more. And since to look at things in bloom 50 springs are little room, about the woodlands I will go to see the cherry hung with snow. Hello and welcome to this Oak Tree English Poetry Time. I'm focusing this poetry time on poems of the outdoors, poems of the countryside, because I'm recording it in March 2020 when the world is being laid low by coronavirus, which is not about a Mexican beer apparently. I know very little about it, and therefore a lot of people are being quarantined to their houses. So I'm doing some countryside poems to make you realise and to give you a little bit of help to let you see the beauty of the world around you, even while you're at home. The first poem I did was a Shropshire lad, from a Shropshire lad, Loveliest of trees, the cherry now, by A. Housman. A. Housman was not a Shropshire lad. He was from Bromsgrove in Worcestershire, but he wrote a Shropshire lad. The next one I'm going to do is by a chap called J.E. Dice. I'm assuming chap I don't know. This is called Country Children. My cousin found it on a forum that he's involved with, and I could find no trace of it on the internet, which means now is a really good time to share it with the rest of the world. So here it goes, and to my cousins, this is for you. What though their clothes are ragged, their faces tanned and brown, they need not envy these bright ones, the rich folks of the town. They gather waving burdock leaves or wander by the pool to watch the titbats gliding past beneath the waters cool. Chasing butterflies all day long beneath the sunny sky, and watching little lambkins white who for their mothers cry. And when the sun goes down to rest, run to meet their father dear, who, tired and weary, treads along, watching for their welcome cheer. It's lovely. It sort of reminds me of elegy written in a country graveyard. Lovely. Particularly the epitaph there. I'm not going to read it. Done it before, but it's really good. Now, one of the most beautiful parts of this wonderful country we live in is the Lake District, and I would like to read something by William Wordsworth, which is often requested when I do poetry readings, because everybody knows it. I wandered, lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. I wrote a poem once about daffodils. It was called Narcissus Fate or something like that. All about the legend of Narcissus. I'm not going to read that one either. What I am going to read you is The Lake Isle of Innisfree by W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats. A friend of mine recently posted this picture on social media, on a writers group I'm part of, which he added me to. And it was such a beautiful picture, and I started, well, throwing out lines from The Lake Isle of Innisfree. And therefore, for that reason, Chris, this one's for you, mate. It wasn't Chris, it was Cole. Forgive me. Cole, this one's for you, mate. Chris, enjoy it as well. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always, night and day, I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. I mentioned my cousins. My cousins come from my aunt. My aunt's favourite poem is The Way Through the Woods by Rudyard Kipling. This is one I gladly turn to. One of my favourites too. I think this hat's not appropriate though. This is more Kipling-esque, I feel. They shut the road through the woods 70 years ago. Weather and rain have undone it again, and now you would never know there was once a road through the woods. Before they planted the trees, it is underneath the coppice and heath and the thin anemones. Only the keeper sees that where the ring-doves brood and the badgers roll at ease, there was once a road through the woods. Yet, if you enter the woods of a summer evening late, where the night air cools on the trout-ring pools, where the otter whistles his mate, they fear not men in the woods, because they see so few. You'll hear the beat of a horse's feet and the swish of a skirt in the dew, steadily cantering through the misty solitudes, as though they perfectly knew the old lost road through the woods. But there is no road through the woods. I'm going to finish up now because you're probably all getting bored and tired of my voice. So I'm going to finish with one of my own poems from a long time ago, and I hope you enjoy it. It's called View of Breedon. My first love and my last love, my inspiration and my hope, the driving force that keeps me sane. Without you I could not cope. I tell you all my problems and I never see your shock. And that is how I know you are, more than just some rock. I've strolled with you at leisure. I've walked your length and breadth. I've used you as a mirror in which I see my depth. I do truly love you, every rock and every tree. You're my friend and so much more. You mean everything to me. You've watched my feeble progress. You've listened to my thoughts. You are like a brother. You forgive all my warts. You've lain here forever with majesty and grace. You show more expression than any with no face. Your silence and your stillness are your voice and your expression. If the world would ope their eyes from you, they'd learn a lesson. So stand guard o'er this vale. Stand alone and proud. Protect all my homeland, keeping your head bowed. Thank you very much for watching this, for being with me at this time. I hope and pray that anybody who is suffering from coronavirus will throw it off fairly easily without too much problem, and anybody who is caught up in the whole the whole isolation thing, I hope you find that there's lots to keep you entertained and engaged. One way you can do that, while I'm on the subject, is you could subscribe to my channel. You could watch some of my other videos. You could watch this video again and again and again, boosting the views on it. You could, you don't have to do that, but you could like it so that other people would see it as well. All these things help with the YouTube algorithm. So please like, share, subscribe, and until the next time, thank you for being with me. Goodbye.